number. I'm gonna call him. And my daughter's like, no, mom, no. Have you ever heard of the 3 day rule? And bam, I'm single.
Hey, ready to mingle.
And a
How
single
scary was
and
it?
a single parent. I'ma forget. So
Hello, gentle listeners. You are now tuned into Kushae Chronicles. I am your host, Kimba, the Natural Diva, and we are here to talk about real talk, real women, and real health. We are trying to empower women to share their stories of trials, tribulations, and triumph. And oh, by the way, we're going to sprinkle in a few Kushae catastrophes. So let's dive right in. Today, I have an amazing guest. Now, although I am heterosexual, aka strictly dickly, aka preferably penis, I fell in love with this woman about 7 years ago. To most, she is known as Dr. Barbara McLaren, board certified OBGYN, period. To a lot of Couché fans and followers, she's just Dr. Barb, your sister girl. But to me, she is my business partner, homegirl, ride or die, Barb. What's up, Barb? How you
hey,
doing?
hey, Kimba. It's good to be here. I'm a little
Yes.
scared, but uh-oh. So this
Buckle
is
up,
where you're
Buttercup.
supposed to allay my fears. Who's
It's
your
gonna be
cue?
fine. Okay, here we go. You're gonna be fine. It's just gonna be simple conversation, like we talking on the phone and kikiing and acting a whole goddamn fool, and it's gonna be amazing. All
Okay,
right, you
that
ready?
warms my heart.
Very good. All right, so today's topic is one that is near and dear to our hearts. It is dating after divorce. We giving it, ladies and gentlemen. We giving it a thumbs up or giving it a thumbs down. What are you giving it, Dr. Barb? Dr.
Two
Barb.
thumbs down,
Are your big toes down? Is that what we're doing?
and both of my big toes too. 4 downs for me.
Exactly. All right. So I know that you are a divorcee, but a daringly beautiful and diva-like divorcee, and you have had life after divorce, which is a beautiful thing. Talk to us about how long you've been in this dating after divorce scene, and what are some of the lessons that you've learned, child?
7 years. Wow. I just had
Seven
to do the
years.
math.
Congratulations. You're like, damn.
It's been a while, but my background is, I was married. I got married straight out of medical school. I think I graduated in May and got married in June of medical
Oh,
school, kind of sheltered. And I was married for about 20 years. And so, from 25 to almost 45, yeah, I was married. So that's usually when you do most of your dating, but I was full throttle on, 3 kids, a house, car, everything. So that was my background. I was coming out of a 20-year relationship and bam, I'm single.
hey, ready to mingle.
and a
How
single
scary was
and
it?
a single parent.
Oh, single
So,
parent?
that factors in as well. So, I was like a baby. I didn't
Hmm.
know, what the norms were for dating. My children were kind of schooling me. I remember I went to the Martin Luther King March in San Antonio and was walking and met a guy and we were talking, marching, and at the end he asked me for my number, and then he gave me his number. So that afternoon, after that evening, we got home. I'm like saying to my kids, that guy, he gave me his number, I'm gonna call him. And my daughter's like, no, mom, no. Have you ever heard of the 3 day rule? I'm like, what 3 day rule? It's like, if a guy approaches you and gives you his number, you have to wait 3 days to call him.
These are
Otherwise,
the
you're going to
these are
come
the
off as
games.
being thirsty. So I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do because if I wait 3 days, I'm going to forget. So, yeah, just things like that, just kind of feeling like a fish out of water. Um, dating in your teens is much different from dating, in your 40s, mid
Right.
40s.
Absolutely.
So I kind of felt like a fish out of water. Like I didn't know, okay, do I wait? If he doesn't text me back in, 3 hours, do I panic? Do I block him? Do I?
I'm blocking immediately. He didn't there's this whole, like you said, there's this whole new world. Now I'm also happily divorced. Hey. okay? So I've joined the ranks. And it's ghetto out here, period. But it was ghetto there too. The point is, I'm where I need to be. And there's rules and regulations and shit that we just nobody where is the handbook? Okay, somebody please give us the handbook. I am so confused. Okay, so let's talk about the internet. So now 20 years ago you got married. There was no DMing, there was no Insta, there was none of
I
that.
didn't even have my own computer.
Much less a phone that could be a computer,
I didn't
right?
even have
So
my first cell phone until I got married.
period. Okay, you dating yourself, Dr. Barb. I know you a beautiful dinosaur, but maybe a Tyrannosaurus.
A while back. Yeah, that
that
was
was that was a
that was a while back.
while back. Very good, honey. That's okay. Dear, dear. But same,
Yeah.
right? We're in the same
So
age bracket.
so it was a whole different world. Texting, texting back and forth. What are the rules and regulations on that? Rules of etiquette. And yeah, I made a lot of mistakes. I probably ran off the man of my dreams.
Now, why do you say that? Because were you too anxious? Were you too forward on the texting? Were you dropping like emojis, eggplant emojis? Like, what were you doing that was wrong in the 2024 of dating or whatever year it was?
Mean, back then, now you have to remember, I was, when you're married, you have daily contact. You're checking up
Hmm.
on each other all day long. Trying to get the kids situated and what's going on at work, who's going to get home first, who's going to start dinner. So, then you start dating, and it's like, okay, you can't text too much so
Too
that
much. You thirsty as hell. Like, girl, bye. You're like, hey, new text. How's it going? An
how's it
hour
going?
later. Are you okay? An hour.
So, just things like that, like knowing,
Hmm.
you know,
Like
the frequency of
frequency.
texting.
So, like,
Like I remember I would, if I would meet someone online and I would text them and they wouldn't text me back until the next day,
right.
yeah, they were
Are
getting
you
tired.
blocking? Are you blocking?
Yeah, I just was like, well, you're not attentive enough for me.
Right.
This won't work.
And that might be true because I know there's a rule about men. To me, the rule is men should be the hunters. And so if you're pursuing me, but why?
Not nowadays. I would say I don't know if maybe it was the Me Too movement. Men are
Mm,
tend the men that I see now are more hesitant, more averse to rejection. So it's almost like they're kind of paralyzed,
mm.
and they just are not as assertive for fear that they may offend you. Um, but yeah, men are not as masculine, I would say.
Wow. I mean, I still think, I love love.
Some men,
Some
not
men,
all.
right. And right. I want to give men their flowers. There are still some men that are very masculine and traditional and believe in, providing and protecting. So that's another question. Are you the typical my man should provide and protect? Or you a 50-50 kind of girl? Where are you at with it? Because men will ask you, I've had guys who I've begun to talk to, blah, blah, blah. They're like, so how you feel about 50-50? Like, what are your views? And I'm like, are you asking because that's you or are you just asking? So to put it out there, I'm not the 50-50 girl. Like I believe my man should be providing. So the biggest bill, which is probably going to be the mortgage, the rent, whatever our situation is, that's on you, home bro. You need to provide for me and protect me. And I can chip in. I work, I get a little something, something, you know what I'm saying? So I can do bills, I can do utilities, I could do a few little groceries. But I mean, are you cooking? You rubbing feet? What you doing? What we doing? You
What
massaging
personal
scalps?
things
Like
are
what we
you
doing?
doing? Yeah, I mean, I think people that kind of go into a relationship with that concept of this is going to be 50-50 is wrong because
Yeah.
if you want to be in a healthy relationship, it's 100-100, right?
Okay,
So
Bob. What? Okay, what we mean by that? What we mean by that?
it means 100-100. I'm giving 100% of myself towards this union or trying to make this relationship and having a life together.
Right.
Um, so a man that's already counting the pennies before you even go into it, I just think the
Red
approach,
flag. Where's my flag? I
right?
should have had a flag. Red
the
flag.
approach, the approach is wrong.
Hmm.
And so
Absolutely.
invariably somebody's going to be a little bit more successful, but you can give 100%. You're giving 100% of you. I'm giving 100% of me.
I love it. But let's talk about the money though. So what happens, because a lot of times I'm finding women who are divorcing these days tend to have been the breadwinners. What's happening to these relationships, right? So I've seen it myself. I've seen it for with so many women that are friends of mine. And that's a very difficult dynamic
It
to
is
maneuver.
because, yeah, it is because when you're meeting someone new, I mean, you've achieved a certain amount of success, property, things like that, that you're bringing into the relationship or the
Right.
marriage is going
Assets, all
to go
kinds of
that
shit.
route, right? So I lost my train of thought. So
Uh-oh.
you have, your savings, your 401k, property, if you have that from, whatever settlement from your divorce. So you're coming with all of that. And then if you have children, right, you want to make sure that you're providing for your children,
Hmm.
right? Because once you get married to someone else, now it becomes this unit, us.
Right.
Right. So let's say something would happen to me, then I would have to, everything would then go to my husband. And then where do I
Right.
leave my children? So there's all of these things that could potentially kind of weigh into saying, well, I'm coming with all of this. I've accumulated a certain amount of wealth, and now what happens to that? Because the reality of the situation is the majority of marriages fail, and second marriages have an even higher failure rate. So
Really?
yeah,
Oh, we're doomed.
no, we're not
No, but
doomed.
what's the conversation when you come? Okay, so you've got this new table that you're coming to. Like you said, you got all this stuff, all this. Maybe you had to sell a house. So in my particular case, I had to sell my house, and you get your little proceeds from the sale and all that good stuff. So you got a little something extra you didn't expect. And now you got this new dude who's probably an amazing person, but not financially where you are, right? And because you've accumulated a ton of things with your husband together, and now you have a nice lump sum of things, and maybe this new guy doesn't have those things. Now what? Are you cool with dating guys that are not where you are financially, or nah?
Honestly, for me, finances doesn't weigh in a great deal, but I'm also still single. That doesn't come
So the
into
broke guys did make it, huh?
it does make me hesitate a bit because while I want to go into a marriage, if I do end up doing that,
Look, girl, bye. Your life will be.
but so that would give me pause as far as that's concerned, finances and inheritance for my children, or leaving behind and providing for my children, and then
Right.
where the new marriage comes into play. And people talk about like prenups and things like that to kind of protect the stuff that you've already built, but um it's plus or minus whether, I mean, that person would have to agree
Right.
to what you're agreeing, and then you're going into the marriage already transactional. So
Yeah, and that's like now I think pro tip for the ladies. I think the best way to protect yourself if you're about to get back into a new situation, new relationship that's a marriage, is estate planning. Lock all your shit up into an estate. So if homeboy ever comes back for you, you're like, oh, I don't own anything, boo boo. It's all over there under Kim of the Natural Diva, estate, whatever. And he can't touch it. And that way you don't come in like, can you sign this prenup? But it's like, oh baby, I'm all yours, but my shit ain't because it's over there. Like you want it. I feel like that's the key to separating and not making it so transactional and not worrying about it because it's locked the fuck up And you could just focus on love.
Yeah.
Love.
But then once the lawyers start getting involved, it becomes almost oppositional because once you're getting a lawyer involved,
In the
you
beginning.
yeah, usually there's going to be some conflict there because they thrive on that. The
Yep,
lawyers do.
they
So,
do.
so that's the part that I would like, but
Hmm.
but I
Now, are
wouldn't
you
I wouldn't get married to anyone if I didn't have, absolute like trust in them or,
right?
had some kind of proof after years and years and years and years.
Right.
Um I wouldn't even put myself in that position. I would probably just even have a relationship to where, our lives are not completely commingled. We're just
Right.
dating,
Exactly.
but
So could you just be like a partner, a life partner?
absolutely.
Okay. I feel like that's favorable these
I
days.
I I, I would prefer that.
Oh,
But
okay. Well, y'all heard it here first if
my
you're
goal,
interested.
well, see, my goal is always a healthy relationship, whether that includes marriage or not. It doesn't matter, but a healthy relationship. It doesn't matter whether you have a piece of paper. Well, it does matter legally. You know what I'm saying. But
It
for
does.
me, it's not of great importance if I have a great relationship with someone that I love and trust and adds to my life, adds a sense of joy to my life. Um, yeah, I don't have to be married.
Okay. All right. Well, that's healthy. So now, are you finding that you prefer men that are also divorced who have been through marriage, or do you prefer men who are single? Now, at this age, it's hard to find a guy that hasn't been married, but what's your preference?
That's what I was just about to say. At 53, at 53, if I meet a man that's never been married and doesn't have children, that's a little red flag for me. A little red. Yes, yes, that's a little red flaggy for me. I'm not. It's like it took you 25, 30 years to finally find. I'm not that special. Okay. If you haven't found any woman in maybe 30 years of being out there, it ain't me either.
Right. Or maybe he's been locked up? No.
That's a definite no.
What are your no's? What are your definite no's? So you're talking about the guy's probably going to be married. What are your immediate hell no's? This is not going to work out. Obviously, being locked up for the last 25 years, which is probably why he hadn't been married. But what else are you like, absolutely, this is not going to work for me?
Extensive criminal background.
Okay,
Probably
that's it. Okay, so if you
white
smoke weed and get arrested, that's okay.
collar crime. I can
Okay.
yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
Wire
Um,
fraud, that's fair with that.
Bouncy checks.
Okay, so extensive criminal activity. Okay, so what else?
Um, like definite no's.
Well, we already
Liars.
talked about it.
I
Say
mean, the
again.
obvious liars, cheaters,
Right.
thieves.
Small penises. Let's
Cheaters.
be honest.
But I prefer a man who's kind of laid back and not full of nervous energy.
Right.
And I like intelligent men. I like men that I
Mm.
can have deep conversations with. Um, I kind of like strong men, uh, manly men.
Manly men. I know you like a little something to
I
them.
yeah, I like manly men that are assertive, but not rude, not arrogant, but
Right.
sure of themselves and confident. Um, and just somebody that's fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So let's okay. So let's say you have all of that and you get all of that, but the package is lacking. Is it a deal breaker for you?
Wait, which package?
The preferably penis package.
The penis package.
Mm. You got everything you wanted, but the package is lacking.
Um, well, I think another thing that I forgot to say. No
So let's say you talked about all of that. Strong, masculine man, aggressive but kind, respectful. You get everything you want. but the package is lacking. Is that a deal breaker or not?
Yeah, that's a deal breaker.
Damn, you gonna let Mr. Right go? Oh, because the penis is wrong though, huh?
Well, you
Mm.
have to have, levels of compatibility, and sexual compatibility is very important for, keeping the intimacy going, and, feeling close to that person, as well as a way that you guys can pleasure each other. So if that's not going to be an important part of the relationship, then I just think it would be lacking. Really.
You were like, I would be cheating on him, and so what's the point?
Well, yeah. Not a cheating kind of person, but I would be extremely dissatisfied. So you
Right.
have to be compatible on, the sexual level, even the personality, has to be compatible as well. If I want to be in the club every night and he wants to be home reading a book every night, then that we're going to clash.
Literally.
Right. Yeah, we're going to clash eventually, right? Because we're going to start resenting each other, that that's a part of our lives that they cannot participate in. So, and then financially, you have to be compatible. If he's a waster or he's a saver and I'm a, shopaholic, then again, that invites conflict into the relationship. And so those levels of compatibility have to kind of add up. Now, you're never going to get somebody that's perfect,
Right.
but you know
Right.
20%,
Is what you have to be willing to give up, right? So we're taking the
20% of their
80.
personality is not to my liking, but I can live with it. Yeah, I'm okay. I can compromise on that.
Okay. All right. So those are the biggest things. Now, one of the things I've been hearing lately in this world of dating after divorce is people feel like if you've been married for 10 plus years, that you don't have experience and you just been sitting at home crocheting booties and shit. And you're like,
Well, all the studies show that married couples actually have more sex than single people.
boom.
So
Come on,
married couples
studies.
have an average of twice a week. Now, when you're single, you might be dating a few people, off of online dating, and so you got to kind of build up to that. Married
Hmm.
couples are having it regularly, like, they're right there all the time.
Literally every
So,
night or
yeah,
day.
I think, yeah.
Okay, so that's wrong. So listen, I'm because I've come across a lot of guys like, oh, well, you've been married for so long. I'm like, man, nigga, don't trip. Like, I ain't been swinging off chandeliers and shit. Like, especially because I think that married couples have to get spicier because over time you're getting bored. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we getting real spicy out here because we're coming up with things that we've been there, done that. So after 10, 15, 20 years, you're like, okay, well, have did we use the hot sauce last time or what we gonna do? It's gotta get spicy.
Be intimidated by that, by saying, well, you were married for 20 years. That intimidates me because my longest relationship has been 2 years. So, and then the guys that are just out there trying to play, they're like, oh, no, she's too serious for me. So they'll kind of eliminate themselves. Because they know that if you were married for that long, I mean, that takes a lot of commitment.
Does, but it doesn't mean that's what we want. Traditionally, I mean, well, not traditionally, historically, once women are divorced, they try to live footloose and fancy free. Like we need them in it. You know what I'm saying?
Most
Now,
of my
how's
divorced single ladies are just not even wanting a relationship, honestly, at this
right?
point. And just enjoying, especially when you were married for a long period of time, where a lot of women, we tend to lose our identity within our marriages and our family. We're Rachel's mom, we're, your husband's wife. And so your identity becomes that family, the family activities, the kids' sporting events. And so you kind of lose yourself a little bit. As
Mhm.
women, we tend to do that sometimes. And then so when you're now out and you're like, wait a minute, who am I? What do I like?
Right.
What are the things that bring me joy? What are the things that bring me peace? What are the things that I just enjoy? And so
Right.
that's where, I think a lot of women that, get divorced in their 40s, you go through a discovery period of just discovering who you are, just really finding your voice again. And so once you do that, then you're like enjoying it. So I think for me now, I've been divorced. Well, yeah, I've been divorced since
You said what, 7 years?
7 years.
2017?
Yeah, 2018.
2018. Okay, so about 6 years.
No, 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 no. I got divorced. My divorce was final in 2017, but I separated in 2015.
Okay.
So I've
Okay,
been,
so technically you were gone for longer than that. Gotcha.
and so I think we just, you get out of that long marriage, and then you're discovering yourself, and you're finding your joy. You're happy, and so you might be dating, casually,
Right.
and trying to get to know people, but honestly, once you're divorced, you're kind of like, okay, I'm not putting up with the bullshit.
The bullshit. Right.
I don't need a relationship that bad.
Right, exactly. Like been
I'm
there, done
doing good
that, got the
now.
t-shirt.
Right, I'm doing good on my own, and I just don't want that drama. So I think
Right.
it gets harder as you get older, because you know what you want. You
Right.
know what
And
you're
you know where
willing
you've
to
been.
put up with, and you know what you're not willing to put up with. So then it becomes harder to actually get into a relationship, uh, because you're comfortable.
Right.
Right? I was like, okay, I could come and go as I please. If I want to
Woo, I ain't
argue,
gotta check in. I ain't gotta call nobody. I think for me, that's the issue. It's like I don't want the responsibility. Like I gotta call you again. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm okay. Okay, I'm busy. You know, like leave me
I'm busy
alone.
doing other things, and so there's a little bit of freedom to that. But I think the human nature is always to try to connect
To be
to
booed up.
someone else.
Hmm.
I just think it's our human nature.
Right.
So then we, go into these cycles where you're like, I'm done with dating. The dating pool is a swamp
Trash.
in there, and then may go a couple of months just happy along with that, and then you may get times where you want a companion, you want a plus one, you
Right.
know,
You
or
want a
just
boo thing.
right, someone to cuddle
Right.
up with or something like that, and so
But so let me
it's just a
ask
funny
you,
place to be.
right, what are the things that you've discovered about divorce, Barbara? What are some of the new
Ooh,
things that you enjoy now that you didn't get a chance to do because you were momming and you were working and you were doctoring people and all the things? What has new Barb discovered?
about me,
Yeah.
or just about the whole process of emerging from just one life to the next, because honestly I can look back and say, so I've been divorced for, we said 7 8 years, so let's say
Hmm.
15 years ago I was a completely different person.
Right.
I was completely different. And I'm like a giver, and one of these people that pour my all into things,
Right.
and it, I lived for my family. I lived for my
Right.
kids. I'd go shopping, and I look at my shopping cart. I'd have something there for the kids, something there for the husband, something there for the house. Not one thing for me,
Girl.
and I never
And we
thought
do that all
about
the time as moms.
right, right. Because, so, just, finding my own voice, and, discovering all the parts of my personality that maybe I've had to suppress in the past.
Right.
Um,
Are you doing things? Do you have like a hobby or anything entertainment wise that you do now that you didn't do before? Like for me, I'm roller skating. Okay, whatever, y'all. I don't care. Mind your business. I'm 40
The
something years
last time I
old.
went roller skating, I fell about 20 times.
Girl, I love it. I'm out there. First of all, my roller skates are black and cheetah print. Don't
Oh,
play.
oh,
And I go roller skating outside on the street in my neighborhood, and I listen to music, reggae, of course. And I'm just jamming, and I love it. It's freeing. I never did that while I was married, but I've always enjoyed roller skating, like at the rink with the kids and blah, blah,
right,
blah.
right,
But
right.
it's exercise, it keeps my little body right. And
Yeah.
it's just amazing. You feel like you're flying, because it's this
Yeah.
breeze. And
Yeah.
so I don't know, I've discovered this hobby that I love, and it's random, but it's cute. And then travel, like I stay on a plane, this. I know, but you stay on a boat. You love a cruise.
Well, I actually don't like cruises, but I love live music.
Well,
So
that's what it
I'm just
is.
slaving for the live music, going on all the reggae cruises. Like that. I love music. I love live music.
Yeah,
I like jam sessions. So, just different things and just, sing to myself and even just a quiet night where I could read a book.
right,
Um, so my life hasn't changed like a lot.
right,
But I'm just doing more of the things that I prefer to do that bring me joy, but where I'm not participating in it to please someone else
right.
or because someone else is required to be there.
Exactly. Now, are you brave enough to do the sliding into DMs? Are you finding cute guys on the internets and just sliding in? Or are you not the slide type?
I don't, I, I don't initiate.
Okay, so you got sliders, but you're not the slidey.
No, I don't even get slides. The other day I went into Instagram and I'm like, how come I got like 1,000 messages? I didn't even know that there was like a message thing on there. So
Girl,
I'm social media illiterate, so no. I if
inept,
they
but we gonna
are,
get
I
you.
don't know. I get the
They
occasional,
might be in the request. That's the thing. Instagram throws
Nigerian.
everybody into the request box, and you're like, I didn't know they were over there. It's weird. I don't get it.
See, I don't
We got
even
to figure
look.
it out.
Yeah, I don't
Ask
even
the
look.
people
But I'm not an initiator. I'm the type of person that yeah, if you approach me, I'll be friendly. But I'm not the type of person to
to go out,
um,
right?
approach a man.
I've only done that one time. It didn't end up
And what
favorably, but
happened?
it was a whole ride. It was a loop the loop. It was a whole ride, but we never
I
met
mean,
or
give
anything
me
like
some
that.
signal, like say hi, or you don't have to have the most witty, opening line or whatever, but just something that says, you're a man, you see something that interests you, I see
Right.
something that interests you, and you can be brave enough to approach a woman.
Right. But I find that the DMs, the text, the WhatsApp, like all the platforms, it can be quite tiring. You know what I'm saying? Because you feel like you want to get to know people and you're trying to meet people, and it's better to meet a lot of people than to just focus on one or two. But baby, if I get another good morning queen, I mean, I like it.
Or
But I'm
you
like,
get the
who's
grand,
this?
grand rising queen, and
I'm like, Ninja, what we doing?
you don't hear from them for the rest of the day.
Or like
You
two
have to go
days.
down their roster.
Exactly. And then what's so funny? Dudes, I don't know if women do, I haven't yet. Dudes be making rookie moves or rookie mistakes. I had this one guy, we were texting back and forth, fine. And I hadn't heard from him in like a couple of days. So the third day, he's like, you on Instagram, not like nothing else. It was you on IG question mark. And I was like, so I text back like, no, hi, hello, question mark, interesting. Cause baby, you gonna at least give me the grand rising queen. I mean, come on, that's basic.
Good
That's
morning,
dating
beautiful.
texting 101. So I text that back, no, hi, hello, interesting. And he's like, oh, sorry, that wasn't meant for you. And then he goes, but how are you?
God.
I was like, oh, really? Delete. I
See,
didn't block.
that's the man that's talking to too many women that he cannot keep up with.
Exactly. Rookie mistake. And if you're going to make a rookie mistake, you're clearly not ready for moi. So you're going to have to
Yeah.
go.
Goodbye.
It's fine. Go on and talk to Shaniqua or whoever it was that you wanted to see on IG. Looking for pictures,
Shanae.
look for bikinis, look for ass prints. I don't know what you were looking for, but it ain't going to be me.
Yeah.
And I'm
But
telling people I don't
it's
have
funny.
Instagram. Fuck
It's
that.
funny because I hear the same things, the same complaints from men about
Mm,
women. So somewhere we're just kind of ships in the ocean, just passing each other by.
right. I just, it's okay and it's gonna work out. But I think what I've learned is there are definitely rules to this ish, right? There's rules to this shit, and there's levels to this shit. There are people who want to be very serious about pursuing a woman, and is like, if I like you, that's it. We're cool. We could be exclusive. We can roll with the punches. There are guys out here playing in all the oceans. Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, what's some other oceans, child? All the
And
oceans.
don't even got it like that.
Right. Missing all kinds of qualifications, but playing in all the oceans and playing with your time. Like, I don't have time to play. And then there are dudes who feel like they're the prize. I can't stand the I think I'm the prize dudes. I'm like, it's Grand Rising Queen, not King. We go we need to get clear about who's the Grand Rising and who's not.
Bow down, bitch.
Exactly. So I'm just like, I'm sorry, you want me to be doing all the things and planning all the things. I need you to just be a little bit more manly. Like,
Yeah,
find out what I like and
I
fix
mean,
it.
since I've moved here to Texas, I've never seen so many effeminate men in my life.
Oof. Mm.
They are very effeminate. One guy was like, "Oh, you didn't ask me out on a date." I'm like, "Okay," and I never
Delete. That's
will.
getting blocked. I don't give a damn what you say. You getting
And
blocked
I
for that
never,
shit.
and I never will. Same guy that was like, "So when am I gonna see you?" And I said, "When you ask me out on a date."
Hello.
As I'm talking to you about asking me on a date, you're like, "But you're gonna say no."
Okay, hang up, click, block, delete, because your self esteem is not there, boo boo. I need confidence.
So then I'm like, am I gonna have to like manhandle him throughout this whole situation? So it's like, and then
No, no, because you're setting the precedent.
just didn't happen.
It just no, no. Because guess what? If you have to manhandle him in the beginning, you're gonna have to manhandle him on everything. I'm over it.
Right.
I'm not
I
doing
mean, what
that.
if something's going on? We got an earthquake, and I'm looking to you, and you looking to me,
No, he ain't looking at you. He running. He under the stair. Well, don't give a fuck about where you at. He's like, bitch, you are your own.
and I'm like, baby, what about me?
He's like, what about you? Find your own hiding spot. The bathtub.
Stop, drop, and roll.
Get out, bitch. Lord have mercy. Texting people, you like, what? Can you open the door? People just ain't ready for you. They really aren't.
He
And then you know
done
what it
lost
is
his
for me?
mind.
Is at your own spot. I
But
think the.
I mean, I guess because I'm just old fashioned in that way. I just think
Mhm.
men need to be men, and I'm comfortable in my femininity. I'm not trying to compete with a man to be a man. I think a male energy and a female energy, works well together. But I don't want
Symbiotically,
to
yeah.
be. I don't want to be that male energy in the relationship.
Right. We live in soft eras. It's about the soft life. It's this is what we want, men. Okay. We want you to be masculine. We want you to take care of us. We want you to, be sensitive to our needs. And we will reciprocate the same, in a way that a woman would, not in a way that a man should. That's all I have to say.
When they talk about black women being too masculine, and I think just our roles over the years, a lot of women are having to deal with single parenthood, so they've had to take on some male qualities
Yeah.
because they were forced to,
Right.
because
And that's
either
true. And so you can't take
the
that away
father
from her. It's
or
what she used to survive. But women, I have to say, we need to understand how to temper that when you get in the presence of a man who's willing to stand in his very masculine posture. We need to step the fuck back, right? A lot of us are still, you know what I'm saying? Just what's up? And you can't do that to these guys because they're willing to take it on, but you got to chill the fuck out. So I think rightfully so, we need to recognize the man who's that guy and relax, like literally relax. Because I think we're chasing folks away that could literally be really great guys, but it's because of the shit that we've been through that we're sort of impressing upon them, which is not fair. So we have to own our shit too. Like, I'm not even here to say, yay, women, honey, on your shit.
but there are some men who like that masculine energy in a woman. There
Mm.
are, the more like coming to Texas, y'all.
Oh, come on down to Texas. Like, what? Come on down. We got a rally road. Right? I don't even know how y'all be talking about it. We got rodeo. Y'all like the rodeo and shit. Drove by.
Was reading an article, like this was months ago, but where they were saying that a lot of men who have been raised by single moms, they're used to having very strong women in their lives, so they usually end up marrying or being in relationships with women who are also have that kind of right, because your first love is your parents. So there are people who do. I'm just saying that's my preference. And if you're an effeminate male, it's nothing against you, but it's just what I prefer because I am very feminine. So being with a man who would also be feminine, I think that would clash.
Yeah, it's not gonna work out because who's wearing the damn bonnet at night? But I know straight men who wear bonnets, so I ain't gonna go there. It's cool. They have locks, exactly. So I know more lock guys now, and so they do wear the bonnet. So shout out to the men who wear bonnets, who are also very masculine. Look, a little thumbs up. All in our business. So anyway, all right. So last thoughts on dating after divorce, and then we're gonna get into a quick little fun catastrophe piece, or we'll talk about that. But what would you say to a woman who's like, I just, first of all, you get women to talk to you all the time in your own practice, and I'm sure they're chatterboxes and they want to talk to Dr. Barb, and you're like, girl, I got 2.9 seconds to get in your coochie and get the fuck out. So what you want? I just got, Dr. Barb spends 3.4 seconds in your coochie, and she's, she's like, all right, I'm out. But no.
Divorce, again, the majority of marriages do end up in divorce. And, especially people who been married for very long periods, I would say more than 7 years.
Hmm.
It's a traumatic experience, and the whole experience of divorce is confrontational, right? You hire
Yeah,
these lawyers and they want you to fight because they get paid more if
they make
you
money.
they make money by the hour, so the more conflict, the better it is for them. So I think it starts there. And you just go through these cycles. Like, I remember when I first got divorced, I wanted to be out there. I wanted to go to every party. I wanted to be out there dating, and just kind of getting that out of my system, as we all do.
Hmm.
And so there was that period, and then there was a period of time where I felt like, what, I really need to look at my relationship patterns in the past so that I can do better in the future.
Right.
Um, and so I went through that phase too, of where I was just, kind of trying to figure out what it is I wanted. And then I think now I'm in like the very last stages now, where now I'm happy, I'm content, I have peace, I have joy in my life. Um, I'm still single though,
That's
but
okay.
I'm still single though. But I'm at a point now where, again, I'm just looking for a healthy relationship, someone that brings joy to me. I bring joy to them. We make each other's lives better.
Right.
But understanding that there's a lot that goes into really having a deep, healthy relationship with a complete stranger.
Right.
Um, there's a lot that goes into it. So, like, when people that in the past that I've met online, and they say, "Well, what are you looking for?" And that's a difficult question to answer because it depends, right? I mean, it depends on if we're compatible. So I'm looking
Right.
for a great, healthy relationship, lifelong commitment, but I may not be able to have it with you
Right.
because we may have incompatibilities that make it very difficult for us to get along and have a long-term relationship. I'm not talking about a
Right.
short 3 month relationship, but just a long-term relationship. It just takes more. So I want a committed relationship with the right person for me.
For you, exactly. But do you mind? Because for me, I think I'm in the beginning phases because I haven't been divorced as long. And I'm literally saying that I'm not looking for a long term relationship at this time. So I'm enjoying identifying folks who are probably going to be more short midterm first semester. You either gonna last the first quarter or you might make it to the first semester, but your ass ain't making it till graduation. Okay, you feel me? So, but
I
it's okay. I
mean,
think that's okay. I
yeah,
might find somebody that makes it to
it's what
graduation.
you're ready for, and so you're
Right.
the master of your domain. but but you're the master of that. So if you ever get to the point, for instance, you may have, you know, a friend or someone that you're casually dating. Maybe you might be intimate with them, um, but it's not really, you know, it's a situationship,
Right.
right? And that may be good for a certain period of time. I mean, you may have like stuff going on, you know, your mama's sick, you know, the stuff that's going on, and you may not really have the time or feel like you have enough effort to put into
Right.
getting to know somebody and actually forming a relationship. So there's periods of time in your life where you're going to be going through that, where a relationship is not realistic for you, and then you
Right.
make the point where things kind of settle down and you're in a better state of mind, and then that at that point you could, you know, say to your, you know, friends with benefits, well, is it to the left or to the right?
To the left is you gotta go. To the right, I guess is you. Who? When do you, girl? I ain't on these sites, so I don't know which way do you swipe. To the right, girl. I don't know. To the right, if it's good. I don't know. For those of you who are divorced, I encourage the dating sites. Okay, my mama found love on a dating site.
the,
I ain't
the,
knocking it,
the,
and
the,
she's
the
older.
dating sites are like going to
We didn't even talk about the dating sites.
a thrift store.
Ah!
Okay,
Why?
it's really just an introduction, a way to meet people, but you still have to sift through. It's just like when you go to Goodwill, you might get a rare piece of art that nobody knew it's worth, and it's worth $1,000, but you got it for three. Or you can get a piece of junk that as soon as you get home, it's already torn apart.
You know, I like the thrift store analogy. I really do because use that. That shit is good because it's true. It's like it's
But
rare finds, rare
right, it's
finds.
rare finds. You still have to sift through, and it's very superficial because you're just looking at pictures and trying to determine whether you would get along with this person or have a great relationship with this person based on just a picture that really doesn't give you the true sense of who that person is.
Right at
You're
all.
starting off kind of on a superficial level, and then a lot of people get on there, and there's so many people on there, so you're getting, you know, friend requests, message
Bombarded.
link, and you're being bombarded. And especially as a
Mm.
woman, like there are times that, you know, like I would have like 150, you know, messages or 150 likes or 150 matches, and it's like
Where do I start?
you're just trying to delete all of them, and you're like, I'll try that one. Okay, no.
Right.
You know, so it's all superficial. So
Yeah.
it's not a true sense of really even getting to know people in the sheer volume um, of people that are on there. And then so people get into this thing. Well, this person doesn't seem bad, but there's so many others. I might get something better, and then you never do because then you're trying to maintain several different conversations with different people, so it lacks depth.
That's
And
true because it's Grand Rising Queen
right,
150 times.
exactly, and you don't go any deeper. Like it just shows no initiative of really trying to get to know somebody because you're just trying to get to all your messages and answer and get to the next one. So then you never truly get to know somebody, and that you're perpetually going to be on the dating site. I mean,
Ugh.
they're created to be like that because if
Right.
everybody that meets gets married, they're out of business.
Oh, when you think about it, huh?
I'm
If
just
everybody was
saying.
happily ever after, they wouldn't have shit to do. I'm feeling like this is a setup, and they
Yeah,
just
if
gonna
their
take your money
algorithm
perpetually.
worked, if their algorithm worked, then the first person that you would match to, like, it would be instantaneous, and we're out of there because we don't
Girl,
have to
you're
deal
right, because this
with
subscription's got to keep going. It's got to
it.
keep going. They need at least $1,000 out your ass.
So you know, the online dating, like, you know, so a lot of people, like, you know, when they get bored, they'll go on there, but really you have to be willing to put in a lot of work um to really get
Time
there,
and
and you have to
work,
go
it's a lot.
on a lot of dates.
Right.
And then
Yeah, I haven't tried them.
you're
I'm
gonna
not
meet
there
some
yet.
real crazies and people who just want to play games, or you know, even men who, I mean, I met this guy, I thought he was gay, you know, just all the
Right.
signals, but then he was online looking for women, and it's like
I thought we were established.
confused. confused much. So
Right.
there's just a lot of people just wanting to play games on there, and so you have to sift through that and not take it personally.
Right.
It's just the game, and they probably got suckered at one point, and it's just
It's just it's a whole hot mess. I think the joy though about being divorced and in this dating pool is that you know as a woman that you were already chosen, right? So there's not this need of like, I wish that somebody would choose me and marry me. We're like, right, we're not the pick me's. We're like, we've been picked. And as a matter of fact, we chose the bounce. Like, we didn't want to be picked no more. Like, stop picking me. Don't pick me no more. Pick somebody else. So I think there's some relief and there's some joy and there's some like amazing energy around the fact that we feel like, or at least I can speak for myself, I feel like I've been picked, bitches, I've been there, done that. I know I got the sauce. Now it's just a matter of who's worthy of the sauce at this time, okay? Because everybody ain't worthy, baby. And I'm a good time. Somebody else figured it out for years. I'm gonna need y'all to figure it out. And so, for the women who are divorced and are entering the dating pool and are nervous or anxious or scared, baby, remember you have already been picked. Okay, and you chose, or maybe he chose, not to pick again, but you've been there, done that. And there is love and life and amazing things after you get divorced. Right, Barb?
absolutely.
Absolutely.
I always say, especially if you were in a bad marriage, which most of the time, there's something going wrong with the marriage why people get divorced. But um, if you thinking about staying in an unhappy marriage, really think about how you want to spend your days and level of happiness, your level of peace, your level of joy.
Right.
Um, that's priceless.
It really is. And that it's just, and it's hard because I hem and hawed. Let's be honest. We hemmed and hawed. I don't know about you, Bar, but I tried once and then wheeled back and just like, let me be a reggae DJ, wheel and come again. So we tried again and then kept going and wheel
Rewind.
and come again. Like, it's like, how many times we gonna wheel? And you're like, right, you put your toe in the water and then you're like, nah. And then you maybe talk to a lawyer and then you're like, oh shit, that's a lot of money. And then finally you just get sick and tired of staying sick and tired, of whatever the issues are. That'll be a whole nother episode. This is not about why you divorce. This is about life after divorce. But making the decision was difficult enough. Going through the process is life wrenching and destroying and all the freaking things. And then you're on the other side of the rainbow. And I hope that you all are inspired to make it a pot of gold and not a pot of brass or fucking aluminum or none of that other bullshit. It needs to be a pot of gold. So we are so excited for you all to join us. And maybe y'all will leave and get married. And that's a beautiful thing. I still believe in love. So we all
Yeah,
here just
absolutely. But forgiving yourself and
and
marching
moving on.
on because the world
Mm-hmm.
doesn't stop for
Exactly.
anybody. It doesn't stop. So the world keeps turning and things keep going on, and you will heal. You have no choice but to heal.
Right, exactly. And you might just find the second love of your life, or maybe the first love of your life. If things was raggedy over there, maybe this will be the first love of your life. So make room for that. All right. So Dr. Barb, thank you so much for sharing your
Thank
love and your life and
you.
your history
I guess
around
it
dating
wasn't
after
too bad. I didn't
divorce.
get myself in too much trouble.
I know, right? It was fine, right? You weren't too, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too shabby. Okay, good. All right, so now this is the segment of the show that we call Couche Catastrophes. So the fact of the matter is, everybody who has a couche, okay, ladies, if you were born with a vagina, that's you. We have all had catastrophic drama with our couches, whether it's because of dating or in your relationships, things just went awry, but then they turned out well. Now, Dr. Barb, you have a plethora of stories based on women that you see. Now, I'm not trying to say talk about Judy and tell her business, but go on and talk about Judy and tell them. So, what
Asking
is a
for a friend.
crazy? What happened now?
Asking for a friend.
Exactly. I'm just asking for a friend because I need to know and she needs to know, and I have to call her back. So, tell me about a crazy situation that you've come across as an OBGYN in all the couches. As inquiring minds want to know, Dr. Bob. What
In
have you
terms of like
seen?
what? Like,
In terms of like just people being discombobulated with shit going on, like, girl, you had a boyfriend, but did you know that you also got this disease, this infection, and we gotta clear it
well,
up
one of
and
my craziest stories was when I was living in Virginia, and I had a young lady, and her boyfriend would come to every visit, and she delivered, and at the same time, I didn't realize that her boyfriend had no, 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 there was another patient in my practice that was, and they were both having their babies at the same time,
mm,
right? So he was the father of
hmm
both kids being delivered on the same day
in the same hospital.
in the same hospital.
Did they know each other?
No,
So this dude is like, let me get you some M&Ms from the machine. Hungry boo, I'll be right back.
this is when I was living in Virginia, and so he was trying to go through both of the rooms.
Oh my gosh. And I know you were like, hello again? Do
And
you
it
rat
was
his ass out
very,
at that point? Do you say,
yeah, it was very tense in both delivery rooms.
but do you say anything like, sir, when you go back to the other room, I'll meet you back? Or
No,
what?
you can't. You can't really, because then you would be violating the privacy rights of
Ah, the other
the other
patient.
girl. So we're held under like HIPAA.
Of course.
Hmm.
HIPAA's BIPA. No. So
I
this
had
dude,
another
so,
one who, the baby of the father that the father of the baby that I delivered, he was sitting in the waiting room, met another woman that was visiting somebody in the waiting room, took off with her, left the mother with the baby in the hospital, abandoned her from a
and
woman that
bounce with
he
this
met
some new chick?
from a woman that he met in the waiting room of the hospital while his wife was delivering, or
They
his
must
girlfriend.
have known each other. How you gonna bounce with some new chick?
And then so the second day when I came back and I was asking about him, and she was crying and she was like, he took off, he left me for somebody he met in the waiting room.
Oh, so she knew the story?
Yeah, he left her.
Oh my
He
gosh, that
was,
is raggedy. That is so raggedy.
and I guess he told her. That was just weird.
That was whack. Okay, but wait, go back to the first guy. Did he get caught at the hospital with the families?
I don't know, because it was up to us as the staff to, like not say anything, and it
But I'm
was
sure the families, he's holding one baby. Is he not walking in? I guess you can't go in the hallway with a
no, you
baby.
can't, you can't, no, you can't.
Because they'll be
Now,
like,
could he be passing to take one down to her room after she delivers, and then the other one might be what? I don't know, but that
I
was
need you to get,
very uncomfortable for the staff.
oh my gosh, this dude, and you know what? That's what the fuck he gets. Because same day, same hospital, you can't, that's karma for your ass. You can't even make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. No,
So
sir. You can't make this
there's
shit
some
up.
crazy stuff out there that it's crazy.
Well, we're gonna have you back on, Dr. Barb, because we want to know some juicy stuff, some more juicy stuff. Okay, who got gonorrhea out here? No, I'm kidding. Actually, what are the most common
half of
STDs you're
half
seeing?
of Houston.
I was gonna say Texas has been getting a bad rap lately.
Yeah, we're
Woof.
seeing a lot of syphilis,
Oof.
gonorrhea,
Oof.
chlamydia,
Oof.
but syphilis is making a comeback.
A comeback. I thought that was an old school STD. I guess it's back.
It's back.
All right, strap up, ladies and gentlemen. Wear your boots and your parachutes. You know what I'm saying? So for the well-endowed men, if you got to get your parachute out, go on and do that.
And you gotta watch these men, because they'll say they're putting on the condom and then they wait till you're not watching, try to take it off or take it off.
And what are we calling that? Is that like a condom creep? What are we calling that? We gotta come up with something. All right, ladies, please be careful. Dating after divorce, no joke, because these Negroes out here, or whoever you date, these brothers out here, these men are not playing. Some of them are shady, some of them are amazing, and it's your job to figure out the difference between the two.
So
Anyway,
take your
I'm
time
Kimba
and
the
pick.
Natural Diva. Exactly. Dr. Barb, thank you so much for being here with me today on Kushae Chronicles.
Thank you, Kimba. Thanks for having me.
Love you, boo. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and we're out. Keep your cliches safe. Bye.
Bye.